Hi, I'm Duckball, and I spent most of this week making my game look more like a game. For nearly 3 months now, my game board has looked essentially like this. Just a bunch of green, some grid lines, some white grid lines, and then the occasional sort of tower or goal or some enemies. And the enemies have all looked the same, so it hasn't really looked anything like a game. It's just looked like a tech demo or a prototype, because I've been building out the systems and all of the other gameplay things around it. But this week I thought it's finally time, let's actually work on the way the game looks. I attempted this in 2 phases. The first one was, as I mentioned in the last devlog, I attempted to create some artwork with AI just because I thought this was going to be faster and easier than trying to find an asset pack. And I also assumed that with AI, it'd be easier to create artwork that is more specific to what I want. So I tried it, and it really didn't work. In the screenshot here, you can see that both the volcano and the stone circle, I mean, they look great, but they really don't look at all like they're connected to the world. They sort of just look like they're clip art that sit on top of the world, and there's also no real consistent art direction between them. So I played around a little bit. I threw some of these sprites in and yeah, it just wasn't what I wanted it to be. So going down the AI route for art was a short-lived adventure. I finally got frustrated and went and looked for some asset packs. I eventually came across this pack called Simple Summer on craftpix.net. I'll post the link down below, but this is completely free to use, and you know, for prototyping and for what I want to build, it kind of has all of the basic assets that I need. So I ended up getting this one, and I actually really like it. From the same place, I also got this Goblin character pack, which I am using for some enemies now, rather than my blue fish, which I drew myself, just so that everything kind of fits together and looks like it's cohesive. And before I show you what it looks like now, there was one other thing I had to code first, and that was the ability to make sprites appear on the grid in different sizes. So previously, every single sprite on the grid was one cell, so 1 by 1. Going back to some of the AI artwork I made earlier, you can see here I've got a 2 by 2, a 1 by 2, and a 4 by 4 sprite on the screen. So this was the first thing I had to code, and I can now create sprites of whatever dimensions I want. Anyway, enough with the AI, let's go back and have a look what I've created now. And here is the result. So this is using sprites with different footprint sizes. That is, you can see the red banners are 1 wide and 2 tall. The campfire is 2 by 2. All of the sprites that are actually in the game area are 1 by 1. The trees at the top and bottom are something different entirely. So this is what I had to do, or what I decided to do to make this work, is instead of just having the game grid, I've now got a game board. Now the game board has a background texture as well as the game grid. So I can also now have different game boards with different dimensions. So currently this grid is 16 wide by 9 tall. It means that I can create different game boards with completely different grid dimensions as well. So the trees at the top and bottom exist on the background texture, and everything else exists on the grid layer. Now I can also, in this build menu, I have this transparent buildable right here. So I can put this over these trees at the top. I've already put a couple there, you can see in the red, but I can make these non-traversable. So if I keep building these all the way along, then it'll make that whole top area non-traversable. Now that's not savable or loadable by the player, but I've set F9 is save, so I can now save that. And if I exit the game and come back and try to build, say, a rock up there, up the top, you can see that now I cannot build on those cells where I have blocked it out. So I can now sort of paint in areas that are non-buildable and non-traversable as a part of the actual game board, so that the player then can interact with it in different ways. This asset pack actually also, I think, works quite nicely with my UI theme that I've got going here. So far, I'm really happy with the way this has turned out. Not really any gameplay changes this week, purely visual, but 1 week of work on the visuals, and I'm really happy with how much more this is now looking like a real game and not just some sort of a tech demo. As I mentioned, this is also only the first pass. So with this background texture, I'll now be able to add all sorts of grass detail to this background. just little things like stones, pebbles, flowers. So the entire environment now can be, let's say, handcrafted from the ground up to look much better over time. So this is a huge step forward to what I want to do. And yeah, I'm really keen to see where I can take this. Now remember, this is also still just prototype artwork. It is a cool asset pack, but the theme I've got is actually going to be totally different to this. So I'm going to have to get some custom artwork done to match the theme that I'm actually going for, which will be later. But for now, I'm happy with this prototype artwork. If anyone watching is a 2D game artist or knows a good 2D game artist, especially if you're in or around the Germany area, please do comment or send me a message. I will be looking to commission somebody to do the final artwork in the game. So yeah, I'd like to find somebody who's good and yeah, and catch up. While building this out, I ran into one little hiccup, which as you can see here, there are 4 hearts displayed in individual cells on the screen. So basically I have an anchor point, which is the top left cell. This is for sprites that are more than 1 by 1. And originally I would place the object there and then it would place the footprint as big as I want it. But it would also then look at each cell, what's in the cell, and place a sprite there. So I had to change it that my renderer doesn't look at what's in each cell. It looks at the placement positions of things and the footprint size. So I had to add a bit of a wrapper around the sprite and the cell contents itself so that it actually renders correctly. So that's how I got the larger or different dimension sprites working. As well as doing these visual improvements for the week, I spent probably about a day also on just researching and getting business applications in and what else has to go around setting up, well, yeah, a proper indie dev studio. So over the next week, I'll do some more visual enhancements. I want to get some animations into some of these sprites and a few other things. I want to make it so that when you build something, right now you can just see a green or red square where your mouse is. I want to make it so you can actually see a translucent preview of the thing you're building. So there's a few little visual enhancements I want to do over the next week as well. I mean, that's only a small number of the changes I'll be making, but there will be a huge focus on visual enhancements anyway over the next couple of weeks. There has to be, because I want to have a playable prototype for Gamescom, and I don't want it to look like a tech demo. I want it to look like an actual game. Yeah, and I think this week has been a huge step forward onto that. Anyway, it's Friday afternoon, and there is a fake beach club down the road having a 90s party tonight. So on that note, I'm going to stop because it's hammer time. Bye.